The brand new Assassin's Creed Shadows gameplay looks good, but it's a far cry from what I expected to see. No, it looks alright to be fair, I just wanted to use that joke. Anyway, here's everything we saw in the brand new Assassin's Creed Shadows gameplay showcase. You can play any quest throughout the entire game as either Naoe or Yasuke. You get to choose. It's not really up to the game, it's up to the player. So if you want to do a combat mission as Naoe or a stealth mission as Yasuke, you can do that. Of course, the different characters' playstyles will be more suited towards those missions and quests, but it's up to you. You get the freedom. Speaking of the different skill sets between Yasuke and Naoe, we got to see more of their playstyles. Assassin tools from Naoe, such as the smoke bomb, as well as parkour. We also got to see what the leap of faith would look like for Yasuke, and let's just say, I think that's a much more accurate representation of what jumping in a part of hay would look like. Ubisoft said that this is the best parkour they could have given Naoe, and again, it's kind of like, well, that's not really true, is it? Just because we've seen good parkour in good Assassin's Creed games, and again, within Assassin's Creed Shadows, it looks okay, but it's a far cry from what it used to be. So I don't know why they're still trying to hammer home that this parkour is great. Like, just don't talk about it if you really didn't do a good job on it. I don't know. Moving on, we got to see more of Yasuke's combat. To be honest, although I'm a stealth player at heart and will probably play more as Naoe, the combat looks fine. It looks decent, you know, it's what you'd expect to see in a samurai game. It looks quite brutal, which is something we saw in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but it looks like they've kind of stepped it up a notch in Assassin's Creed Shadows. It does intrigue me as to what sword combat and stuff could be like for Naoe, which again, we saw a little bit of in this trailer, but obviously the focus was on Yasuke when it comes to combat. But yeah, I'd be curious to see where Naoe would go with her own combat. How does it look? Does she have any finishes? And it's interesting. Speaking of Naoe, we got to see more of her stealth. We saw her going prone and crawling under things to sneak up on her enemies. We also saw her use the rope swing to go onto the ceiling and hide and stalk her enemies that way. Again, it's kind of more of everything we saw in the original gameplay presentation, but you know, in different areas of the game, with a few different movesets and that sort of thing. It's more of what we've seen, but again, the more we see, the better judgment we can make on whether the game looks polished. Does it look good? That's pretty much what we saw, but now I kind of just want to talk about how do I personally feel about it. Do I think it looks good? Do I think it looks bad? Etc. Again, when Ubisoft was saying that Naoe has speed and she has finesse when it comes to parkour, like, I just don't think she really looks like she does. Yes, she can do a few flips that the other assassins couldn't do. But again, we've been spoiled with the Ezio trilogy, we've been spoiled with games like Unity when it comes to parkour, so we can actually see what a good parkour system should look and feel like. So again, when we're looking at this and seeing a lot of reused animations from Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is objectively one of the, if not the worst parkour system and mechanic in an Assassin's Creed game, it just doesn't bode well for Assassin's Creed Shadows. It doesn't make me look at Naoe doing a couple flips but kind of jumping and climbing and feeling sluggish and slow like Eivor did, and it doesn't fill me with much hope. I said this in my last video, but I think if Ubisoft just sped up the parkour animations, got rid of those stumble animations reused from Valhalla, and just made it feel a lot more less sluggish, less like slow motion, like she's getting stuck in the air, then yeah, I think she would look and feel a lot more agile and fast and have more speed and finesse, as Ubisoft are claiming in this video. Again, they say one thing and we're literally looking at something else. They've obviously edited it in a way that it does look faster than it actually is, but again, there's lots of jump cuts, and it's like, well, if you're actually going to just show us parkour like they did in the small Twitter clip, it just shows that it's just not really how a shinobi or an assassin for that matter should climb. Now, one more thing that I did kind of want to touch on is Ubisoft's wording when it came to switching between Naoe and Yasuke. The message they sort of were trying to deliver was, you're going to want to be able to switch between them both at will, and we want you guys to have that switch often. Now, that begs the question, is Naoe and Yasuke going to have like a forced sort of switch to the player? And what I mean by that is, are you going to be playing as Naoe, you get into a bit of combat, and then it's so incredibly hard that you basically get one hit and it's just not worth doing, and it kind of forces you to switch to play as Yasuke when you can one hit there them. And vice versa, maybe you're playing as Yasuke and that's how you want your playthrough to go, but then it gets to a section of the game where you have to sneak, and Yasuke's got his big clunky armor on, he can't climb very well, and it just makes it impossible, so you have to switch to Naoe. Obviously, to some players, that's not a big deal, that's actually a good thing, but to some other players, that can be seen as a bad thing. You know, if they want to just purely play as Yasuke or purely play as Naoe, they may not get that option outside of just open world traversal. Personally for me, again, I love the idea of Yasuke. I think story narrative wise, his character could go somewhere really interesting in an Assassin's Creed game. But when it purely comes to gameplay, you know, I'm going to be playing as Naoe just because she's an assassin, she sneaks. That's sort of my whole allure to Assassin's Creed is a lot of it is the stealth aspect. So, you know, if I can't stealth and climb very well as Yasuke, then that's going to turn me personally off to playing the game. But then there's people on the other side that, you know, love combat, loved Odyssey and Valhalla for all their super moves, and, you know, want to play that more with Yasuke, and, you know, that's your prerogative, you go for it. Honestly, I don't really have much else to say about it other than that, you know, we got to see more of what we've already seen in a different light, and we got to see sort of the developers' sort of thoughts on development of the game and how the characters will play out. And yeah, it's interesting. We got a little tidbit more of information. I'm not as excited for this game as I was for Mirage. I was very let down with Mirage, and then I thought, you know what, I'm just so sick of Assassin's Creed games letting me down that I'm kind of just over it now. Obviously, I'm really interested in the journey to release and talking about it, seeing how the game plays out, and yeah, I'm gonna play it, give my thoughts, but I'm just not as hyped up as I used to be. I could really take it or leave it. It looks fine for the sort of game it's trying to be. It's not really trying to be like the older Assassin's Creed games, and that will turn a lot of players off. But the Assassin's Creed community and fan base as a whole is, you know, very polarized and very split these days. So, you know, you've got your OG fans that are sort of like, you know, AC1 to Syndicate or Unity. Then you've got your RPG fans, you know, that came into the series from Origins or Odyssey onwards, and that's kind of all they know with Assassin's Creed, and that's all they sort of appreciate with the series. For those players, they're going to love what they see with Shadows, and, you know, it's probably going to be one of their favorite games on top of Odyssey, Valhalla, and that sort of thing. So it really depends on what side you reside. Some players reside on both sides, and I think if you can do that, then you've basically won the game of Assassin's Creed, because they are very different styles, formats of game. It looks like it could be shaping up to be potentially good, but I'm very hesitant to say I'm excited and it looks good until I actually get the game these days. But it is what it is. I'm not going to hate for the sake of hating, because there's literally no point in doing that. You got to give constructive criticism and, you know, give your true opinion. And that's what I'm here for. So if you enjoyed this video today and want to stay up to date with everything Assassin's Creed Shadows and beyond, then feel free pressing that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments what you think about this personally. Do you like what you see, or are you a little bit more skeptical like me? Let me know in the comments, we'll get a discussion going and build that AC community. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, my links are in the description. Knock knock, who's there? Ezio. Ezio who? Ezio, glad I didn't throw a hidden blade at you? I'm just gonna see my self out.